Hello and welcome to our first January presentation of the KTN webcast series for 2024. I will say good evening to those of you who have joined us from Europe as far east as Russia. Hello, Svetlana at the local. To my fellow Eastern Time Zone USA folks, good afternoon. It's now after lunchtime. And good morning on the other side of the world to Hawaii. Hello to Edwin at the Camuella Inn. We'll be going to Hawaii. Kathy Cook and I will be passing through Hawaii in early March. As you know, we always do a few shout outs where we're waiting for everybody else to join us live. So I want to recognize quite a few clients are on this webcast today. Hello, Marshall Kelberman and Mohammed from the Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin Complex. We are so excited to see you join us for this. I know it's been a while since I was last there doing training, but your hotel's been a client since 1992, so we go back a long way. I hope this helps. All of our Hilton clients, Lewis at the Hilton and Conrad Tulum complex, great to see you, especially since we just did this program on site for you in September. So I hope you enjoy participating, perhaps take the recording and share it with others. We also have Libra from our other client, the Waldorf Astoria Petrogal. And thank you for sitting in. It's been a couple of years since I trained on site with you. I know you use our call scoring every month though, and hopefully it'll be worth it. Fernando Camacho, you showed up again at the Hilton Curio Collection, the Fives. Want to hear more about that change. Congratulations on the move. So many others. We have a lot of prestige hotels and resorts clients, which is, as we appreciate you're using us for the telephone mystery shopping. We're glad so many of you have signed up, including I see some GMs, quite a few GMs, but I did notice right away Uber at the Prestige Prince Rupert Sound. So thank you for carving out time today. Nazareth at the Canopy Hilton Cancun. We have several people from the Roommate hotels in Amsterdam. We checked out your building. What an incredible design you have there. Ada, Trevor, Paloma, Heike. We have Relais Chateau property. I was just up at the Old Edwards Inn, and also before that in December, I was at Castle Hill Inn, other Relais Chateau properties. Sylvia, I would love to come to Malta, the island and country of Malta. Yvonne at the Armand, New York City. You all have been turning out. A lot of our regulars, Jennifer, Rusty Parrott. Hopefully the new reopening is coming up soon. We have Laura and team from Rosewood Hotels Call Center. Let's see, Nick from the Biltmore, Miami, and a lot of vacation rental clients. Saltwater Vacay, Rent Branson, Sun Realty. You're always there for me. Padre Island, hello family. And Jackie Logan at Prime Vacations, who hopefully will be finalizing dates today for an April visit. So welcome to Contemporary Approaches to Upselling at Registration. We hope you continue to join us. We will be doing these every month as part of our series. This particular topic is a little more specific to hotels. Now, if you've been with us for the series, like so many of you, but some of you are new, so let me explain. We rotate the topics from a hospitality topic to a reservations or transient sales topic to hotel group and event sales, and then usually back to hospitality. Front desk upselling is somewhere in between sales and hospitality, and it is a specialized topic. It applies definitely to almost every hotel out there. It also applies to vacation rental. Now we know the vacation property rental business. I'm going to speak to you a lot as we get into this, especially at the end. I'm going to ask you to stay on for content just for you on upselling. We know it doesn't usually happen at registration because, of course, your guests check in remotely. But for our traditional hotels, most hotels have the opportunity to upsell. You can upsell by accommodation type. So that might be suite, room to suite, or suite to 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. Views, ocean view, island view, lake view, city view if you're a city center hotel. If you live in a big city like New York or Chicago or Paris or London or Moscow, you know, you might think that skyline is just another day, just like a lot of people who live at the beach think it's just a beach. But for people coming from the outside, they're mesmerized by that beautiful skyline or mountain view. Location of the room, closer to amenities, services, closer to the pool, further away from the pool. If you don't have kids and it's a family resort in the summer, maybe you don't want that noise. Decor or style, maybe a different type of decor, something more specialized or unique. And then, of course, amenities and services included. Some of you may have properties that have club floors that provide extra amenities, or concierge level, concierge lounges. Now, select service hotels. I see Comfort Inn, Chincoteague, and also most of the Prestige hotels. Now, actually, Prestige hotels, you have a lot of different room types, most of you. But your traditional, let's go back to a Comfort Inn. Thank you for signing up, Chincoteague. You have more often than not one room type that is then separated by two bed types. Now, you might have one or two suites. So let's talk about a Hampton Inn, a Fairfield Inn, a Holiday Inn Express for the big brands. I don't want to leave anybody out. I'm sorry if I am. But you have pretty much one or two suites, maybe, if that. And then you have your regular room. There's not really any views because you're right off a major interstate or highway or thoroughfare, provincial route. So, but a lot of times it might be bed type. Maybe you charge more for doubles. Typically, these hotels have a shortage of double rooms because there's a lot of people passing through with families. Maybe you have extra amenities you can put in there in those particular rooms, or maybe it's something to think about if you don't have that. And also, here's another one. When we're upselling at registration, and we're going to talk about the advantages you have in a minute, but you're sitting there, you have a guest coming in for one night or 3 nights, whatever the case may be. You know you're not going to sell out. Now the rate strategy changes. That room, you know, it's often said, there's nothing more useless than an empty hotel room for the previous night or an empty seat on an airplane when it's already taken off. I didn't make that up. Revenue managers of the 1990s used to quote that. But you have a room empty and you have this family checking in. I have been that family. And now, you know, when they're setting up their budget, they're like, oh, we can just all sleep together in one room. And now they've been in the car for a 4-hour drive, or they've been on a plane and, you know, crowded in there and everyone's kind of needing their space a little bit. Now you can say, hey, tell you what, we have an extra room right now, and it's either next door connecting or it's across the hall if they're teenagers, or, you know, and what's available now, and we can give you a super great deal. Why not? Okay, it's going to be gone anyway. So whatever we can get is additional revenue, assuming you cover the cleaning fee and the cost for the soap amenities package. So vacation rental companies. All right, let me talk about you. For those of you in the hotel business, you maybe think of vacation rental as an Airbnb or a Vrbo. A lot of the inventory is individually owned, but a lot of it is managed by professional vacation rental companies, such as those I gave the shout outs to today. These companies might manage anywhere from 50 or 100, the smaller ones, to the larger ones. Some we have on here today. I don't want to quote your numbers because I don't remember them, but Sun Realty in Outer Banks of North Carolina is huge, as is Prime Vacations. So these are agencies that rent out privately owned vacation homes, condos, villas. We know we should not upsell a guest who has already booked one individually owned property into somebody else's property after they booked. That's not living up to our fiduciary responsibility. Well, what we can do is we can upsell in other ways. First of all, we can upsell before they book. We can upsell before they book by, as we cover in our reservation training, using needs-based recommendations and suggestions. But assuming they've already booked, and I will be talking at the end about when you do the reach out calls to follow up for the people who've already booked online or come through a third-party app like a Vrbo or an Airbnb, you can add these vacation rentals. Now, hotels, you can do this as well. So this is pretty much almost all, probably all, dare I say, because we have a lot of diversity here. I think we're up to about 5 continents on this particular, probably 30 countries on this webcast. So probably almost all of you can upsell early check-in, late checkout, okay? as it gets closer. Upgraded services, so extra cleaning. Now, again, depending on what you have there, maybe this would be selling the amenities and add-ons and extra services. So it could be, if you're a resort, maybe you have spa services, maybe you have meal services, maybe you have beverage services, maybe you have upgraded amenities, packaged activities, tours, events, and then of course, travel insurance and damage waiver. This would be more, once again, for vacation rental companies, but also traditional resorts, especially offshore, where someone has to take a plane to get to you. Or in the case of our client in the Aeolian Islands, off the coast of Sicily, they take a hydrofoil, okay, which is a boat ride to get there. So the more travel involved, the more people might want travel insurance or damage waiver on private rentals. All right. Now, a lot of this is strategic. So we're going to get into tactical, which is what you actually say. So if you're a frontline employee that has been told to sign up for this class, or you're a manager that's looking for techniques to train your staff, I'm getting to you in a minute, but I first also want to speak to your leaders, okay? One of the challenges I find when we do upsell training for clients is the rate structure. So I always recommend you consider a flat rate upcharge for upsells. Now, a lot of hotels have caught on to this. It's not like it was 10, 15 years ago, but the situation is that a lot of times the group, the promo, or the contract rates, such as government or local corporate, are set for the minimum room category only. So let me just pick an easy number. I'm going to say $100 US. So let's say your $100 standard rate room, and you have a $150 upgrade option. A lot of companies have the standard room is what they then base government, local corporate, or group on. So the group rate might be $75, government rate might be $75. And now, instead of asking $50 to go to the next category, we're asking $75. So it's a much bigger jump. I hope I didn't lose you with the math, okay? I'm sure I didn't lose revenue managers with the math, but make sure that we reevaluate that and set maybe gap upgrade pricing so that whatever rate you're at in a hotel now, whatever rate you're at for X number of dollars, you can upgrade to the next category. Because that incremental difference, for the most part, goes straight to the bottom line. And if we make that gap, if our rate structure makes that gap too large, no one is ever going to do it. The numbers I gave you as examples were very low to simplify. But if you're talking about a $500 room and a $700 suite, $200 jump. But if that $500 room is actually sold on Expedia for $350 or Hotel Tonight, the gap becomes too wide. Okay, so think about that, managers. Now, here's where we're at circa 2024. By the way, the decade is almost half over. That's kind of freaky, isn't it? At least for some of us who've lived through a few decades now. What has happened lately is the tech companies, and I love my tech companies, okay, but they have oversold us on pre-arrival drip campaigns. Now, maybe they're still working for you. If so, please raise your right hand, reach down, pat yourselves on the back. Good for you. But I think over time, they're becoming increasingly less effective, okay? Here's the problem with those pre-arrival drip campaigns. Now, what I'm talking about here is messages going out to guests who already have a confirmed reservation, reminding them of the option now to to upgrade to a better accommodation, okay? And so what I'm talking about here is, these emails that people get and says, oh, you're booked in the standard for $50 more, you can go to a suite. But those are not actually working as well anymore for a few reasons. For one, I don't know if anybody uses Outlook. A lot of you use Outlook. I don't know if anyone has had the Outlook email upgrade for your convenience. Yeah, and one day, all of a sudden, you have this focused inbox and you have your other inbox. And the focused inbox is, I believe, just people you've already emailed to, and everything else goes to the other inbox. It's not even spam, it's the other inbox. Also, if you're no matter what platform you're using, a lot of mass emails, blasts, I used to call them, I think they're called campaigns now. They go to spam and they never make it through. Okay. Now, if you're lucky and they do arrive, the problem we have today is the guests will ignore them more often than not, circa 2024, because they're getting so many offers and notifications for other companies. I travel almost every week. I did 70 days of training last year, a lot of times 2 per week. So I wasn't gone all the time, and usually midweek. So in case you're wondering, I do have a personal life. But if you're going to be staying at 2 or 3 hotels in 1 week, okay, my inbox starts getting flooded. First of all, Delta, American, United, everybody, even though I'm high status on most of those, they're going to send me an offer to upgrade to Comfort Plus or to go to first class seat or Southwest, add early boarding options. Now, Avis, who I'm very loyal to, will, even though I get a free upgrade with Avis Preferred, they will send me an email, possibly about an upgrade, but I can add Siri XM, I think it is, so I can listen to Siri. And now, also we have transportation companies, the ride sharing services send you an email. Hey, we haven't heard from you around. Here's a coupon. And then every hotel that I'm going to be staying at that week starts at me with the upsell offers. I am to the point I don't read them anymore. Now, maybe if I'm going on a vacation and I'm going to one hotel for a week, maybe it might work better. Okay. But the other thing is, I'm going to speak about this more in a moment, so let me not get ahead. I believe the front desk is the best place to upsell. I believe in the people and the conversations we had, those authentic, personalized conversations between humans and guests still work best. For one, we're sharing a smile, we're putting our heart into it, but there's also some practical reasons that I'm going to cover for you. Okay. Now, best time to upsell. Front desks, staff, you are superstars. You can be our revenue generators. First of all, you're already the first impression makers, but you also can add money. And one thing I hope you're all learning, if you're new to this job, we are here to make the guest happy, but a hotel is also a business and we're here to make money, okay? So profits are important because the hotel costs to operate are huge. Paying the mortgage on the building, paying the insurance cost, very big. The number one cost, payroll and benefits. So you've got a chance to contribute. This is the best time. For one, you can sell specific locations, views, configurations versus a room type, okay? Now, in the vacation rental business, you all actually book specific specific accommodations. So you're selling an actual condo on the 3rd floor on the south side or the 1st floor on the north side, or you're selling an actual home at a specific address. They have seen pictures of that. Hotels, almost all of us in the hotel side, we sell by category. So they're booking a king or a queen in a deluxe, superior, luxury status, and we can request a room near the elevator. They can request connecting rooms, but usually we can't guarantee it. Now, on that note, most hotels have confirmed connecting rooms, and then just like everything else, we confirm a room. Sometimes we walk guests, okay? So some of you have found it easier operationally to say, we're going to confirm this category rather than guarantee it. However, a lot of you are conservative on, you don't want to disappoint your guests. So you will tell them you can request connecting, you can request near the elevator, you can request the view. When we're upselling at registration, we know what's available right now. And it's open, hopefully, right now, or it will be in a few hours at check-in time. And we know that they're going to have 4th floor sunset or sunrise view, or mountain view, or city view, as we said earlier. Okay, or a room on a high floor on the inner side of the building that's going to be more quiet in an urban setting. Now, Emotionally, these guests here, the original room rate that they had in mind and their when they were planning their budget for their vacation, that money's already gone. It's already spent. What we're asking for now is only a small fractional incremental cost. Okay. So they've already spent $300 a night, and now you only want $50 more. Okay. And sometimes that spontaneous feeling of wanting to indulge after you've had a long flight, a long drive, especially for leisure travelers, but also for business travelers, okay? Their needs may have changed en route. Maybe they got a lot of emails. Maybe they now have to do a pop-up meeting with the coworkers that they're traveling with, and that extra suite sounds good. Or they're a business owner like me. A lot of small business people live a lot of time on the road, and now you realize you're going to be working in that room a long time. You might as well get the one that has the separate desk to spread out. Okay, so spontaneity is really key. Okay, and sometimes, especially going back to leisure, when you set the budget up in advance, you're like, oh, it's okay, we can forego that. We'll just get the courtyard view, yeah, or what do you call resort view? Yeah, that's a nice way of saying you don't see the lake, the mountain, the beach, but you'll go for it. Now, couple last things for managers. And by the way, if you are not a manager and you are a brand new front desk colleague, it's a good time to think like a manager. Hopefully your manager is on this with you, or they sent you and they're going to watch the recording that you're going to get. But even if they don't, this is your time to show your initiative, okay? So you can say, hey, you know, a lot of the things Doug shared had to do with what we say to the guest, but there's a few other points that I took here. And one of the things to share, boss, is this, and here's one of them. The start of every shift, particularly the afternoon shift, typically that's 3 to 11, okay? 3 to 11:30. Have your little meetup, or maybe it's just you and you're at a focused hotel and you are the whole shift. But take a look at what's left and then identify which accommodations are going to be unsold, and then look at your remaining arrivals. Now, I know the front desk is a very, very busy place, but we have something called the everything happens at once principle. You know what that means? That means nothing happens for a long period, and then everything happens at once, usually when your coworker just went on break. So you've got those pockets of time. See what rooms are left, see who's left coming in, okay? And look for some identifiers. Are there people where your reservations person or in their online booking that they put, you know, reason for travel? It's one great thing about direct voice bookings, and you know we covered that a lot. You want to put in there, you want to ask, hey, what brings you to town or city or the hotel? Put that in there. Front desk staff, you do read pre-arrival remarks, right? I hope so, pre-arrival messaging. So you can say, hey, you're celebrating an anniversary, multiple rooms. Look, I'm sorry, let me go back now to looking at all the reservations coming in. Are there people who book multiple rooms? Are there larger parties and families with the same last names? Are there that are and the same addresses? Could be the same last name and they're not together. And anyone with special requests like early check-in, views, etc. Okay. Now, also, do we have prepaid reservations? Some of you still have advanced purchase direct website rates. A lot of brands do that. A lot of Hiltons. I know we have a lot of Hiltons on here, as I said. So they've already prepaid, not only emotionally, but they actually have prepaid it, okay? Group bookings made by a rooming list, the company has paid for the basic room, and now you can offer them an upgrade or very early, very late arrivals, okay? So we're gonna come to this when we get to the tactics here in a minute. So we can actually address and give them a chance to check in early or to check out if they arrive very late, to get a late checkout that they can pay for when they check in. All right, now, based on the, okay, sorry for the copy running over. Let me interpret it for you. Based on the remaining prospects on arrival, prospects for upsell, and based on the remaining rooms and premium categories that are left, if it were me, I would set a goal. Now, again, if you're the manager, think about this. If you're a larger property, hotel property, you have 2, 3, 4 staff on, set a goal. If it is just you working the desk at Novotel, I don't want to just talk about the brands we already mentioned so far, and it's just you working that desk, set your own personal goal. Keeps your life and keeps your work interesting. Okay, it's going to make you more successful. Like, okay, I got 50 check-ins, I got 3 suites left. I think I can sell them all. Maybe you got 10 check-ins left and you have 3 suites. Maybe you can sell 1. Okay. But managers, bigger properties, this one especially rings to you to have this goal in mind, and then maybe celebrate that we're going to get pizza, or we're going to give, it doesn't have to be a lot, just recognition. Okay. All right. I was going to say go out for drinks after the shift. All right. Is that go out for coffee? Okay. I know the world has changed. When I worked at the front desk, we would go out for drinks at 11:30 p.m. the night shift, because we didn't have to come back to work till 3. If I'm speaking your language, that's okay. Just be sure to take Uber and don't do it every night. All right. So the actual tactics now, as I check my timing, where is my handy little clock here? Got to turn it around. Check the timing. Getting into the tactics. What is the most important task we do at the front desk? And that is something that computers can never do better. We can warmly, authentically welcome the guest. So before you start upselling, this is the time that you want to build rapport. This is the front desk the way a lot of tech companies will soon have it being, okay? And maybe even some owners that think tech can replace humans, okay? That's what the tech companies, a lot of them are telling us right now. But warmly welcome those guests, okay? Be focused and present. This is a repeat from a lot of our hospitality training. So if you're my regulars, thank you for staying here. This is so important with anything we're going to do, whether it's sales or hospitality. Be focused and present. Ask about their reason for traveling and how their journey went today, and listen with empathy. Don't ask if you don't care. Do not be that person says, how was your trip in? Good, that's good. And they share this horrible story, okay? It's not even funny these days, the things happening in flight. I'm sure you all read about the plane catching fire in Japan a couple weeks later. So the part of the jet, an emergency door, exit door, actually blows off. Let's hope they don't have anything that extreme. But I can tell you, I have personally been in some harrowing flights. I remember once I checked in at a hotel in Dallas. I was there speaking at a GM's conference. I finally got there about 3 o'clock in the morning due to horrible storms. When that plane was about to land, it was like a roller coaster ride. And the front desk guy says, so tell me, how was your trip in? 3 o'clock in the morning. I was glad I had someone to tell. And he actually reacted with, no, really? No, it didn't. Oh my gosh. And people can tell when you care. Now, hopefully it's not a harrowing story and they're like, oh, everything was great. No traffic tonight. Hey, what brings you in? It's our anniversary. You start to make that connection, okay? Now, based on the remaining inventory, whatever room the guest has booked, the guest's travel story or purpose, and the circumstance of their arrival, you're going to go through my menu of training techniques. These are not separate, and I'm going to show you as we run through these how they are combined, okay? How they can be combined. So here is my list. If you want to do a screen capture, this is your time. I'll give you a moment to do a screenshot, or if you are attending live, you will get the video. These are the tactics. We're going to go through each of them, and then we're going to give you specific examples of how they can work together. So you may want to screenshot a few of these slides. First of all, when you want to upsell someone, be sure to reassure them the room they bought is still a great option. Be careful not to diminish the value of that room. We don't want to say, Mr. Jones, right now we have you in the standard room for your 20th anniversary, like the one with no view and 2 beds. Did you want like a nice room tonight? Please don't do that. I had somebody, it was actually kind of funny and it did work out. I was checking in with my wife and they said, "Oh, sir, right now we have you in our standard room, but are you celebrating anything special tonight?" Standing there with my wife, what am I supposed to say? "Oh, no, just another night with her, nothing special at all." Okay. He really had me there. But, and maybe that's not bad, but do not make it sound like, oh, you're only in the non-view or the lowest category. Let them know, hey, right now, Mr. Perez, you're booked into one of our standard rooms. I'm sure you're going to find it quite comfortable. Okay, all of our rooms are nice, but, and we're going to come to the but in a minute. Now, let me address brand loyalties, because if you're a member of Hilton, if you're a member of Marriott, if you're an Intercon, if you're a Core, Prestige, I'm not sure if you have a loyalty point program, but these guests will let you know I'm titanium, I'm diamond, okay, and they get an upgrade already. Now, if you're at some of these, if you're at a premium brand resort, you know what I'm talking about because you have so many titanium or platinum or diamond members and you don't have enough upgrades. So it is very hard sometimes with that. But most of the time, when you're not sold out for most of the hotels on with me today, if you're part of a brand, they're expecting the one-tier upgrade. So do not try to upsell them before you acknowledge that they're already upgraded, okay? Because they will remind you and they may not be nice. So Mr. Chirac, right now we have you reserved in our premier room, which already reflects your complimentary upgrade as a member of your brand, okay? So you're already upgraded. However, and then if you want to offer something even better, okay? So you can upsell premium members. Now, however, we have you in a nice room. However, I want us to simply ask if they're interested in available upgrades, okay? That's all you got to say. If they shut you down, move on, okay? But they just might be interested. Now, if you try this on 10 guests, you might have 9 that say no and shut you down. Do not get discouraged. We have a saying in sales, you got to learn to love no. Because if you get 1 out of 10 guests to upgrade and you do 30 check-ins, that's 3 upgrades. Do the math on that, okay? However, did you have a chance to consider our other categories, or did you happen to get our promotional email? If you know your company, send out a promotional email. Say, hey, did you happen to notice that? Okay. Just ask, okay? They might say, no, forget it, but they might say, no, I didn't get that. Tell me about it. Let me know, okay? So, Mr. Johnson, right now, this is the screenshot of these two together. Mr. Johnson, right now we have you reserved in our traditional room. I'm sure you'll find it comfortable. However, did you happen to notice our email promotion about? Okay, screenshot that if you want to put it all together. Next up, present the availability of the upgrades as a timely opportunity. Mr. Johnson, we did have one of our luxury suite or premium room or special location or special bed type open up for tonight, okay? Put those together. Put all 3 of these together. Mr. Smith, we have you reserved in our traditional room. I'm sure you'll find it comfortable. However, we did have our luxury suite open up for tonight. And since it was open last night, it's also available right now, okay? So if you're a European hotel, you are having guests, who did I see here? Matthias, receptionist, Kenmar, Ireland. Wow, you signed up on your own. I didn't see any managers from your hotel. I'm impressed. So take this one back. A lot of us from US, we love to go to Ireland. I have never been. It was my father's only trip to Europe because that's where his heritage is from. People come in off the red-eye flight, the overnight flight. We call them red-eye here in US. Mr. George Kennedy, my father, years ago got to go there. He'd be 99 right now. We did have one of our upgraded options, and because it was open last night, I can offer it to you now. And the person can go in at 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, and either, hopefully they're going to do the smart thing and not go to sleep. The key to overcoming jet lag is go into whatever time zone you're in. I know this. but it is nice to be able to take a shower, change clothes, and get settled in. Okay. Rate framing. If you've been with me on reservations training, actually we have a webcast coming up, and I don't want to say exactly which one now. I think it might be next month, where we're talking about presenting rates and availability restrictions. We talk about this a lot in group sales. We talk about it a lot in transient reservation sales. Mention the normal rate to position the rate you're quoting as being a good value, okay? So rate framing is with saying, Mr. Smith, we have this option for you. This room is normally $300, but right now I can give it to you for just $50 more than your current rate, okay? In online marketing, e-commerce, they call this slash pricing. If you ever go on Amazon or even Expedia, you see the normal rate slash and then the rate they're quoting. Okay. I don't think Expedia is doing that anymore, come to think of it, but you want to mention the high rate, the normal rate, and then the incremental difference, okay? So now mention the only additional difference here is a separate technique, and for only $50 more, you can receive. We talked about this a few minutes ago when we started our webcast today, to add that additional value, that the, additional cost, because in their mind, the other money has already been spent. So putting it all together, opportunity for a screen capture if you want, a screenshot. Mr. Smith, we have you reserved in our traditional room. I'm sure you will find it quite comfortable. Well, we did have a luxury suite open up tonight. The room is usually $300, but I can do it for just $50 more. And this room was open last night. It's available right now. Can I interest you in that? Okay. All right. Now, couple more for you. Again, these are all a menu of topics. You're going to pick the one that just flows right out for that situation. This is really nice when you're selling views or larger spaces or premium amenities and decor. With this option, Mr. Patel, with this option, you can look out your window and see, or imagine yourself waking up in the morning and stepping onto your balcony, where you will see spectacular skyline, lake view, mountain view, fresh country air, ocean breeze. Your family will have more space because this suite, Mr. Kennedy, includes a separate door, okay? So now the kids can watch SpongeBob and you and your wife can watch your own show, all right? For me, it would probably end up being on some crime show. My wife's favorite show is when we travel. But I don't know, better than SpongeBob? Maybe, I don't know, maybe not. The living room is separated. It's ideal if you need to meet with colleagues. Okay, so this is for business travelers. Hopefully some examples for everyone. We want to paint the picture of that extra value that's only $50, $100, $200 more. Okay. Now, recommend, suggest, endorse. Again, these themes resonate through all of our KTN webcasts and all of our KTN on-site training. On the call scoring and mystery shopping we do, if you're with us for that service, we love it when people recommend, when they suggest, when they endorse it, okay? So if you can say this, you're at the front desk in this situation, or you're at the registration office. This room is actually one of my favorites. You don't have to say it's your favorite. You're not lying. All of your rooms are your favorites. Parents, anybody there with more than one kid? This is one of my favorite children, okay? You maybe only have two, but you can tell them, oh, you're one of my favorites, okay? Never say they're your favorite, but you love all your children. You love all your rooms. It's one of my favorites. Our guests always comment on the amazing views in the distance from the high floors, or it does have lots of space. This one is actually preferred for our guests who are families, okay? So now you're throwing a little something extra. All right, we have covered the techniques. How are we doing on time? Oh, pretty good. Almost right on time here for our 40-minute time segment. I'm going to say a few wrap-up comments for our hoteliers. You are invited to stay on, but also vacation rental. I do hope you stay on with me. I have some additional content for you. specific to you. Also, destination luxury resorts, particularly offshore where flights and long trips are required. Let me give our a few more slides then for our hoteliers. Managers, if you are a manager, I hope that you try this activity. This is what we do in our on-site training. If you've been with us for that, we actually list out travel stories based on how typical guests would benefit. So business travelers, family, romance couple, girls trip, mother-daughter, multi-generational trips, okay? And so you assign, maybe even put them on index cards and split them up. This half is gonna be the guest, this half is gonna be the front desk staff, and let everybody who's a guest draw a scenario card, and everyone who is a front desk person draw an upsell, what accommodations are left. Or you just tell all the people who are going to be playing the role of front desk which accommodations you want them to upsell, okay? And then what you do is you assign them to take turns. So of course, you know all this. This half of the room is the guest, this half is the staff, and then they switch, okay? It really does take practice to have these flow. We love this word, flow, not script. We do not want you to say, good afternoon, Mr. Kennedy. For your convenience, we have had a room open up last night, and since you're here for your romantic getaway, I recommend this. It is perfect for romance getaway. That's not gonna work. And you can't be referring to your notes. Yes, and what was that Doug say? Oh, these are, they're normally 200, but they're available for $150 more. It has to flow. It flows if you practice, okay? So managers, make sure you do that. Thank you to our sponsors. If you are a client of any of these companies, please let them know that you appreciate them paying to help us sponsor this. Where does the money go? We do promotions to let people know about it. We do advertising on LinkedIn. It also pays for our production costs here. These are normally for fee, and thanks to TravelNet Solution, Travel Outlook, the premier hotel call center, and Better Talent, Steve Trover and team. This is going to be amazing job in your human resource area. Please note upcoming webcast that you must sign up for each one individually. If you cannot make these dates, or you're not even sure maybe if this content is for you, register, you will get the recording. If you attend, you get the recording. And if you don't attend, you get the recording. And so attendees, you can get this to review or to share with your team. Next month, overcoming higher rates and overcoming rate availability restrictions for 2024. And then we get into back to hotel sales for tours. And then, oh, some of you may like this one, fielding legitimate guest complaints and stopping those full refund scammers. All right, couple more things. Julia Kennedy, our marketing coordinator. Yes, she is related, proudly. And so you can join, she has set up our KTN YouTube channel so that at the end of probably later today or Monday, she will be taking this recording, posting it on there, and you can see that all 10 we did last year are already there if you want to use this for your own education, growth, or if you're a manager, okay? Remember, we do on-site training. I would love to come out to you or one of our other trainers. If you're a brand, I would love to be your conference keynote speaker. We do live sales coaching for hotel sales, also for reservation sales, especially for resorts, one-on-one coaching. Mystery shopping like we do for companies like Prestige, actually call scoring like we do for some of the Hilton brands where we log in to your cloud-based recording, okay? So I'd love to work with you. Vacation rental, thank you for sticking around. Hotels, you can stick around too. I'm not trying to get rid of you, but I know we are going to go just a couple minutes over to cover this content. Now, big opportunity for an upsell in vacation rental is going to be for selling travel insurance and damage waiver. Now, hotels don't usually have damage waiver because we kind of build that into the costs, but vacation rental companies where you're renting out a private owner's home that is very often has finely appointed with expensive appliances and decor, then if something breaks, it's on the guest to pay for the owner of that property. That's damage waiver. Travel insurance, because now all resorts may sell this, right? Because if you have a 30-day cancellation, then if inside of 30 days you cannot cancel, we had somebody from Telluride, Colorado, I'm pretty sure for the next few weeks in peak ski season, also during the holidays, Nizuc Resort Cancun, you're with us, festive season, we call it in Cancun. You can't cancel within, I don't know, at least 15, probably 30 days. So if someone gets, now I don't know, maybe your policies are different for COVID, but someone changes their mind or their kid breaks an arm or something happens medically, they're out. So so travel insurance is a good thing. Damage waiver can be a good thing too. After you confirm a few key details. So get the booking first. I always say, do not sell insurance until you sell the accommodation, because what may happen is that guest may either decline it or you get into this long conversation about what it covers. And then they start to get impatient. They're like, oh, okay, we'll think about that later. Just tell me about the prices. So sell the room first, okay? And then after you get their commitment and you start to enter a few key details, that is the time to segue into presenting. That means smoothly move right on over into presenting the insurance, all right? Now, the timing of your offer for those who book online. Most companies, and dare I say, smart companies in vacation rental space and really smart resorts too, should be doing is have a reservation salesperson or a concierge or somebody in guest services call those guests to reconfirm details and just, if necessary, discuss signing a lease. If you're in certain states, you actually require a lease to rent your homes. You don't just do a rental without a lease, okay? These are typically large homes for long, maybe week-long or more stays, okay? It's also a great way to make sure that it's not a party house, okay? To let them know the only people that can come in this home are those that are registered and paying guests. This is your time to present the insurance option and the damage waiver option. All right, now, avoid a direct ask. Do not say, so, well, I have you on the line. Did you want to buy the travel insurance? Or do you want me to tell you about the travel insurance and damage waiver? If someone asks me, I'm a 100% automatic no. First of all, I'm busy, okay? Secondly, I'm that guy, I'm that person that never buys any insurance. It's getting ridiculous these days when you buy, I don't know, let's say a Keurig, no, not Keurig, what is this called? I forget now. My coffee mug here, these, and you buy this at Target and they ask you if you want to buy the item protection, a $20 mug, and they want to charge you $5 to guarantee it won't break. Believe me, that thing won't break. I've dropped it many times. But I have bought travel insurance, and I bought it because the first time I ever bought it, the rep did exactly what I'm going to share with you. Okay. Suggestive selling approach. Now, Douglas, I know a lot of people automatically say no to travel insurance, but may I just go over a few of the key benefits? I think it's worth considering. The first time this happened was when I was taking my daughter, Julia, who now works for us as our marketing coordinator, to Egypt, and I was booking it through Delta Vacations, and the rep asked me this, and then she explained what it covered, and it got me thinking, and at that point, I bought my first ever travel insurance. And now that I'm a customer of travel insurance, I do start to think about it sometimes when I travel, okay? So rather than, if you say, I know a lot of people say no, but can I just tell you about the travel insurance? Okay. And then instead of, when they say, okay, sure, don't say, okay, well, let me read the list. It covers, right? You got to use your storytelling approach. We covered this in the reservations training classes that we do. Okay. Use the you approach. So if you or anyone in your party were to have emergency medical situation, or if during your, and you needed to cancel, okay, or if, I wanted to point that out because it probably does not cover medical insurance. You want to make that clear. But if someone falls ill and can't make the trip, If during your stay an unexpected accident happens and something is broken or damaged, then you and your family would be covered up until whatever the limit is. Okay. Now, personally recommend and endorse. If it were my vacation, I would definitely consider this, Douglas, or truly think it's an excellent choice. Based on such a large home for a big party, I would definitely say it would be worth the extra cost, especially since you're dividing it by 3 families. Okay. So if you're on with me from the Outer Banks of North Carolina, from Park City, Utah, who else do we have here? Branson, Missouri, Saltwater Bay Cay, West Coast, Florida, Padre Getaways when you're renting the houses where there's multiple people, okay? And you've got maybe a 3-bedroom or in Outer Banks, a 7-bedroom home, easily, 3 families, easily. Get them thinking, like it is gonna be, I don't even know what it costs. Maybe it's $1,000 for a week on a $10,000 booking. Probably not that much. But if you split that by 3 families and you're completely covered, it gets people thinking, okay? Chances are it's less. So split by 3 families, you're each talking about an extra $80 and you can all rest assured. Yeah, it gets people thinking, especially with other people's kids, because I know my kids were perfect. Well, we did go on some vacations with other kids when they were little, and I got a little nervous. In fact, there was one time we went on vacation in Naples, Florida, and the children discovered that the hurricane shutters were on an automated up and down remote. And while we were in another room playing cards or maybe having a few adult leisure beverages and some great conversation, they were discovering the remote controlled hurricane shutters, which got jammed up. Okay. Now, fortunately, the host company was able to fix it. They did not charge us. Managers, when you select, couple more things before I let you go. Managers, when you select your insurance provider, don't just ask about how much commission and all the financial benefits and what it covers, but because a lot of them may be similar. But say, by the way, what kind of onboarding training do you have? What kind of ongoing training when I hire new staff or seasonal staff? Do I have to cover this again, or are you going to go back over it? Is it just videos? What happens if online videos? What happens if we have questions? Okay. So make sure your team is familiar with those benefits as they can frequently answer the most frequently asked questions. Okay. And then I want to make sure that we do not confirm or guarantee benefits. I'm pretty sure your insurance provider will back me up on this. Unless you're really, really sure that it does cover something, be careful. If it's one of those things that it might cover or you think so, pretty sure, defer the details they're going to receive from the provider and tell them they can read more about it in the document link, which you're going to send. Okay. So of course, the basic stuff, such as if there's typically this would be the case in a beach rental, if there's a mandatory evacuation for hurricanes, you are definitely getting your refund. Okay. If they say, well, what about if there's a tropical storm warning, but it's not a hurricane warning and you're not sure, make sure to defer to the paperwork or let them know you can find out for them. Most companies will want to say, let's add it for you now and you can opt out. Or if that's not the case with your provider, then I'm going to send you the link. Let's get your reservation confirmed and you can give them a call. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. Vacation rental, you hung in there. Gosh, about 2/3 of the people who signed up stayed on. So even my hotel clients and participants stayed on. Thank you very much. I hope it was worthwhile. Thank you for giving up either your late evening Russia, your lunchtime Eastern time US, or thank you for waking up early in Hawaii. Have a great rest of your month, and we'll see you in February for our next KTN webcast. Thank you.